because a number of years ago, I came across the work of a psychologist by the name of Viktor Frankl, who developed a counseling therapy based on this concept of purpose. And he said one of the most important parts of our human personality, the way we are made, is that we require purpose. And it was a therapeutic experience for him to discover meaning and purpose. And it all began when he was struggling under the concentration camps in the Second World War. And he saw great horrors and experienced great personal suffering and tragedy. But he noticed something. In the midst of all that darkness and pain and unimaginable inhumanity and brutality, it was perhaps the darkest time of the whole of the 20th century. And God help us that never such a time should ever happen again. But during that time, he noticed that there were certain people who seemed to be, I wouldn't exactly say flourishing, but people who were able to cope much better with what they were experiencing, the starvations, the beatings, the privation, the inhumanity, the indignity, the hardships of living in Nazi concentration camps. And he looked into these people, just observed them as much as he could, and he discovered in every case the people who lived longer, who were healthier than the others, and who seemed to be a little bit more at peace, were those who seemed every day to do something for somebody else. If they had a little bit of food, they would share it. If there was a little bit of comfort that they could give to somebody else, they would do it. If there was a word of encouragement, they would give it. They would be there. And he realized that this was the greatest purpose of all, to live your life in an other-centered focus. That whatever you're going through, you give, you serve, you help. And that is of great psychological significance. In our generation and our time, the issue of mental health is very, very much in focus. And I think some of it's positive in as much as people are far more prepared to speak about mental health issues rather than feel ashamed and not want to talk about it and speak only about physical health. But I have seen in my own counseling ministry and helping people through dark times in their lives, to encourage them, no matter how dark it is, no matter how they feel, just that if every day they can do something which enriches somebody else's life. Because what you sow that way reaps 100-fold back in your own experience. So it's interesting that both the Bible and psychology and many other disciplines of life show us that purpose is everything.